Welcome back, friends. Thanks for joining me today. I wanted to spend some time going over some of the questions that I've gotten recently about essential oil use. So there's sort of a pattern of repeating questions that I often get, and I wanted to be able to do these Q&As for you once in a while so that you can learn from questions that other people are asking, because very often when we have a question, other people are going to have that same question. So I'm going to go over, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions today for you. And the first is about animal aromatherapy. Okay. Question is, Erin, what essential oils can I use with my animals? Or alternative question might sound like, is it safe to use essential oils around my animals or with my animals? So my dog is stressed out, or my cat has a skin thing, whatever the question may be. So what I want to first say is that this is not an area of expertise for me. People that specialize in animal aromatherapy do their own sort of training and have their own sort of programs. But what you need to know is that essential oils do not react the same in animal bodies as they do in human bodies. And I do personally know people who have lost pets due to essential oil use. There are some essential oils that are super, super dangerous, especially for cats, also for dogs. Having said that, there is some animal aromatherapy that can be very helpful and very effective. I think of people working in the equine industry that are using different sorts of therapies with horses that are traumatized and are using aromatherapy as part of that. Now, again, this is not an area that I have specific expertise in. It's not an area that I'm called to practice in, but there are a few aromatherapists that do specialize in it. And I want to just point you to Vicki Ray Thorne and her company Earth Heart Inc. So you can go to earthheartinc.com. She has classes, she has articles, she has information about her work in animal aromatherapy. She is a personal acquaintance of mine, and I do really think that her work is high quality. So she is who I would recommend going to with those sorts of questions. Now, when you're looking at animal aromatherapy, depending on your reason for wanting to use aromatherapy with your animals, you might have a different option that you are unaware of, and that is flower essences. Flower essences are not essential oils. They don't contain any of the plant material. They're simply the energetic components of that plant that are captured in pure spring water, either through moonlight or sunlight. Sounds crazy. I'll probably do other podcasts on flower essences, but flower essences basically help to shift the energy of the body, and they are not at all dangerous. They are definitely a do no harm sort of therapeutic product. This is something that I would recommend using with your pets and around your pets. In fact, animals love energy work of any kind. They will, anytime I'm doing Reiki, my cat comes around, my dog comes around, sniffs, is curious. They can tell. They're very tuned into energetics. And so I found that with the animals, they really respond well to the flower essences. So look into flower essences first before you consider looking into essential oils. I do have some flower essences that I make that are on my website, prairiearomatherapy.com, and just go to the aromatherapy shop. The source that I most often get my flower essences from, however, is Floricopia, and I will put a link to their flower essences in the show notes. So that is what I have to say about animal aromatherapy. Be very careful. There is a little bit of information about animal aromatherapy on the National Association for Holistic Aromatherapy website under safety. It's basically going to say the same thing as me. Okay, second question, Q&A, something that I get asked about a lot. Erin, can I use specific essential oils for my child that has ADD or ADHD? Okay, this is a great question. There is actually a growing body of evidence to say that aromatherapy really can help with these sorts of situations. The thing I have to say about it, though, is that it is not a blanket therapy. This is a more complex issue to work through, and one that is very likely going to take an aromatherapy consultation and some time to troubleshoot. The reason is that the way that essential oils work in the brain to affect change in the body is, first of all, very individual, but secondly, in the brain that is neuroatypical, which is what we see with ADD or ADHD, the typical essential oils that we would go to are not necessarily going to work the same for a neuroatypical person as they would for a neurotypical person. Meaning, let's take the example of lavender essential oil. So lavender essential oil is the essential oil that we're going to go to most often when we are stressed out, when we want to relax. A lot of people like lavender for helping with sleep, helping with stress management. I love it too. And it's sort of that universal thing that you're going to grab for. However, there are some studies that have been done on ADHD kids that find that they actually become more agitated when they're exposed to lavender essential oil. Isn't that wild? So what this means is that we can explore what essential oils are going to support your situation or your child's situation the best by systematically going through some that may be helpful to you and figuring out if that's really how the body reacts to it or not. I have recently worked with a client with ADHD, and we spent a couple of, I want to say about a month and a half, maybe 2 months, troubleshooting what essential oils helped her the most with her sleep, what essential oils helped her the most with her anxiety, and what essential oils helped her the most with her depressive tendencies. And we did that by using a whole variety of different essential oil inhalers that I had sent her, along with some other samples that I had put just on tissue for her to smell and experience and give me some feedback on that experience as to which ones she liked, which ones she hated, which ones made her feel awful, and which ones really helped her. And from that, then we made up some synergies that were specific to her. And that is something that I will say about this issue, is that this is where working with an aromatherapist can really be helpful, because you're going to get that expertise of blending along with that personalized attention to your situation. This is not something where you can just use a blanket statement and say, this essential oil is going to work for everybody all the time with ADHD or ADD. It's not. Okay, third question. Erin, what essential oils can I use for stress? What essential oils will help me to ground my energy? Well, if you have listened to any of my previous podcasts, you know that the whole concept of grounding or earthing is something that I talk about a lot. And it's because when we're experiencing stress, when we're experiencing anxiety, our energy tends to float outside of our body. We're living in the future rather than in the present moment. And one of the things that we need to do is help to ground the energy of the body back into the body. I actually have created a specific serum for this purpose. It's called Earth Serum. It's part of my Elemental Aromatherapy product line. Each one of those represents the elements from Chinese medicine. And whenever we're talking about elements, we always will use the opposite element to balance. So when we're stressed, when we have anxiety, we tend to have too much air and space element. So we need to bring in earth element. That is going to come in the form of root essential oils, things like valerian, things like jatamansi. There are others as well that are lesser known, meaty attar being one of them that I work with, that can really help to ground that energy back into the body. And in fact, even the carrier oils that you use will make a difference. Some carrier oils have more of an earthiness to them. Some of them have more of a lightness and a sense of air and space to them. So in this serum that I've created, it is my number one go-to to recommend anybody who is wanting to manage stress, ground their energy back into their body, dealing with supporting their body with any kind of symptoms of anxiety. I personally have struggled with that issue for a long time and have found relief from essential oils as well as adaptogenic herbs. And so those are my two go-tos for that. If you're just talking about general stress management, of course, I just talked about lavender when it comes to ADHD, but when it comes to neurotypicals and typical stress relief, lavender essential oil is a great place to start. It's a very basic essential oil. It's one that is going to be helpful to most people. It's definitely one of those essential oils that falls into the do no harm category, where I'm not super worried about you being, having to have any extra safety precautions attached to it, like we might with something like oregano essential oil or eucalyptus essential oil. Lavender is really very safe to use, and I love to diffuse it in the evenings. I will often diffuse it with other things like citrus. Citrus is another great mood booster. It helps to lighten the energy, and my gosh, don't we all feel like we need to lighten the energy a little bit? So lightening the energy, but then bringing in that relaxation element. So what I might do in the evenings is mix a little bit of bergamot with a little bit of lavender and put that in my diffuser while we're watching TV or reading in the evening. And that really does help me to calm my body down, to sleep better. And when we sleep better, we manage stress better in general. Okay. Next question. What are we on now? 4. Where do I get started with essential oils? I am overwhelmed. All right, so this question often comes to me from somebody who has been to an essential oil party and has already purchased essential oils and is not using them. So this person, they already have access to the essential oils, and they learned some stuff at the party, but they don't remember what they learned, or they're not sure if the information is correct, and they want to make sure that they're being safe. This is exactly why I created my course, Top 6 Essential Oils and How to Use Them to Change Your Life. It's a very basic course. It takes you through the top 6 essential oils that I find myself recommending over and over to clients. And it's going to teach you how to use them. It's going to give you recipes. It's going to teach you the safety information about each of them. That is a great place to start, is just with some basic information. In that course, you're also going to learn about what essential oils actually are and how they work in the body, and some cautions regarding essential oils in general. So that is a course that I like to point people to as kind of the Essential Oil 101 course. It's very inexpensive, and you can learn at your own pace from home, from your computer or your device. So I'll be putting a link to that course in the show notes because I specifically created that course as an answer to this question. That's where you want to start. You want to start with just a few essential oils at a time and get to know them just like you get to know people. You will start to develop a relationship with those essential oils, and as you develop a relationship with those essential oils, they will start teaching you how they work. If you do too many things at once, you're not going to get to know them individually, and then you're not going to know which one to be reaching for when you need to support your body or your emotions from a specific standpoint. All right, and final question for today, and this is a big one, and that is essential oils to help with weight loss. Erin, is there an essential oil that I can use that will help me to lose weight? So I appreciate that question, and I definitely understand that question because weight loss is something that so many of us struggle with. And interestingly, there is some research out there about how essential oils can support the body from a couple of different standpoints when it comes to the issue of weight loss. One is dislike of exercise. So a lot of us that want to lose weight, we also struggle with a healthy relationship with movement. And this is something that I'm going to be talking a lot about more in future podcasts. But as we are looking to move a little bit more, to get our body moving, to boost our metabolism through that healthy movement, if we have a real resistance to exercise, grapefruit essential oil can really help with dislike of exercise. So you could diffuse a little bit of grapefruit essential oil in your workout space at home. That would be a great place to start. Or if you're working out outside the home, you can make yourself an essential oil diffuser inhaler, that you could just put a little bit of that grapefruit essential oil on, and then you could sniff that out of the inhaler, or you could actually just put it on a tissue and have that with you and smell that throughout your workout. And what you're doing is you are helping to boost and bolster your mood. There's also evidence that grapefruit can help with boosting metabolism. There is another study that came out that talks about peppermint essential oil helping to burn fat when it's applied to the fatty areas of the body. So around the hips, around the midsection, where a lot of us tend to carry our weight. There were a couple of studies done about the diluted peppermint essential oil being applied to those areas, and what they saw is that those individuals were able to burn fat from those areas better. I used to have that study at my fingertips, and I have not been able to track it down in recent days. So I apologize, I'm not going to be able to link that in show notes, but I do know from previous research projects that I've done that that study does exist and is out there. However, when we're talking about the issue of weight loss, there's a much bigger picture to look at in terms of your body's constitution type, your lifestyle, your stress response, why you want to lose weight in the first place, intuitive eating. There's so many more factors that go into that. So that would be the type of thing that I would recommend that somebody would get in my VIP program and work with me one-on-one over 12 weeks. In that program, we actually build you a complete holistic lifestyle from the ground up, probably addressing areas that might be invisible to you right now that could be impacting your ability to maintain a healthy weight. And when we get that foundation set in those 12 weeks, then that's going to give you a great jumping off point to say, okay, this is how I want to approach the weight issue for me going forward. And in working with me, I can help you to design a protocol for you that's going to honor you. It's going to honor your body. It's going to honor your relationship with your body and with food and with movement. And yes, potentially could incorporate aromatherapy, but that is a much bigger issue than just saying, oh, this essential oil will fix this problem. There's not going to be a magic bullet that just is like, yep, that fixes my weight issues, and now I can move forward because I have this essential oil. I wish it were that easy. I would love to tell you that it is, but it is a much deeper issue and one that does take a comprehensive approach and helps to have that one-on-one attention. So I'll be linking in the show notes about my VIP program and how you can hop on a free 15-minute discovery call with me to see if that program is right for you right now, or if there's something else that I have on offer that would fit you better for your particular goals at this time. So those are our Q&A questions for right now. You can expect to see more Q&A podcasts and vlogs in the future because I do enjoy getting your questions, and I find that a lot of us have some commonalities in the areas where we're confused or we have those questions. So I hope these will be helpful to you. In that case, please comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you're listening on your podcast app, I do appreciate those 5-star reviews, and I will see you next time.